The Batman 2004 show is one of the most underrated pieces of Batman fiction out there. Following the amazing highs of our Season 1 retrospective of the show, we are looking at Season 2 and if it can follow up on the amazing glory that the first season captured.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together we're the Comic Lads, and today we're looking at The Batman Season 2.
Guys, before we get started, question of the week. We want to hear from you. Have you watched The Batman Season 2? What are your thoughts?
Where does it rank among your favorite seasons? Let us know. And before we get into the discussion, make sure to drop a like. It really helps us out.
And consider subscribing. Become one with the Comic Lads.
Yes.
Alright, so getting right into Season 2. It's a bit of a mixed bag.
Yes.
And we were talking about it beforehand, and there are some things it does very, very well compared to Season 1, but also a couple letdowns, and one really big notable one that we're going to talk about. Stay tuned to the end of the video to hear our thoughts on that.
Yeah, overall, there's a lot of really high highs this season, some lows, and then a big fart at the end.
Let's start with some of the strengths.
Yes, of course.
Once again, the art style and animation is just top-notch.
It's unbelievable. I think it might even be stepped up from Season 1. The choreography is crazy.
The animators, they cooked.
And you get a cool, different, unique fight every episode,
One thing that I kind of don't like about the fight choreography, which we kind of mentioned in the first video, but the fact that the animators make villains like the Penguin into martial art experts. You know what I mean? I just can't get on board with Penguin knocking down Batman. Season 1 had a very clear arc of what, characters like Ethan Bennett getting closer with Batman and working with him in the betterment of Gotham.
Yeah.
And Season 2 definitely takes where we left off in Season 1 with Yin finally becoming Batman's, essentially his first partner.
Yeah, and the season hits the ground running where you're just in the thick of it with Batman and Yin's partnership, all throughout Season 1, you're kind of hoping for them to get past this, conflict and finally work together. And in Season 2, it finally pays off. They're a really good team.
The whole reason why Yin was even introduced in the first place was that DC had an embargo on the show that they couldn't use characters like Jim Gordon. The fact that they introduced the character of Ellen Yin and made her as successful of a character as they did, she's by far the co-lead of this season.
100%. I'm gonna say that we get something with Yin as the Batman cop partner character that we've never gotten with Jim before, where you don't get to see Jim going on missions with Batman, you know what I mean? And them both splitting up and taking on villains and different capers together.
Ellen Yin gets her hands dirty in the action a lot of the time.
Yeah, she washes villains regularly.
Especially with her stupid PG-13 gun that all the cops have. Because they couldn't have actual guns in the show.
Of course.
Dude, the sexual chemistry between Yin and Batman,
it's insane.
I am so pissed that we never see them get together.
Yeah, let's just get this out of the way right now. Spoilers, guys. Yin's out of the show after this season.
Yeah, the embargo lifted. They were able to use Jim Gordon. He kind of just randomly takes the place that Ellen Yin has in the seasons going forward.
We'll get there later on in the video. Yeah, because we got a lot of stuff to say about it.
And there's actually not just chemistry between her and Batman, but notably between her and Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one episode in particular where Batman's hosting a gallery banquet or whatever to draw out Mr. Freeze to rob him. Just classic Bruce Wayne Batman shit.
Putting his high society friends at risk to catch a villain.
So bad. During that party, Ellen Yin comes up to Bruce and she's like, "Oh, I know your secret." And he's like, "Oh shit."
What do you mean?
Yeah, he's kind of shitting his pants for a second. She's like, "You lead a double life. You put on this persona as Bruce Wayne, eligible bachelor, but I know who you really are."
And you're like, spit it out, dude.
Yeah, come on, let's fucking get to it. And she's like, "You really care, don't you?" Meaning he actually cares as Bruce Wayne to throw these charity events.
Yeah, his double life is that he's a nice guy, and you're like...
If you're Ellen Yin, you're spending all of this time with Batman.
Yeah.
You see him in the flesh as Bruce. Come on, dog. You're a detective. You're one of Gotham Central's best and brightest.
Yeah, and they also both have, the most absurdly pointy chin. Bro, you can't tell?
I know.
I don't don't buy it.
But anyway, she is definitely a standout this season, yet again.
Yes.
And I want to bring up one episode in particular, which is my favorite dynamic between the two of them.
Okay.
It's her Riddler episode.
Oh my god, that one's fantastic.
Yeah. Introduction of Riddler. He didn't appear in season 1.
A lot of people hate on the design, but I don't know, man. I like it.
I'm one of the people.
It's grown on me.
Because for me, the Riddler is fantastically written in the show.
Yes.
You know, he just comes in with the classic, like, riddles and death trap scenarios. His design, I just can't get behind. I'm sorry.
You don't like it?
Like-
It's like Marilyn Manson.
One of the things we praised from season 1 was the villain designs and how they kind of reimagined some of them, very notably Mr. Freeze and Catwoman.
And Joker.
And Joker. I can't get behind the really skinny, tall, long hair.
I think it goes hard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Respect. You know, the design is just one thing. He acts exactly as Riddler should. And one thing that I really like about that episode is that he's tasked Ellen Yin to solve all of his riddles. It's not Batman.
Yeah, and he's kind of like tagging along, like secretly and helping her solve the stuff.
Yeah, he's kind of like guy in the chair for the show.
Exactly.
And once again, it kind of reaffirms that Ellen Yin can stand her own, and she's kind of the leader of this episode.
She definitely is.
Another villain that makes his return from season 1 is Ethan Bennett / Clayface, which was kind of the heart and crux of the overall season 1 arc.
One of my favorite versions of Clayface, actually.
Definitely. And Ethan Bennett, previously a cop, corrupted by Joker and kind of twisted and chemically altered to be the Clayface from season 1, he really struggles with his identity in season 2, fighting back the urge to be Clayface and keep his Ethan Bennett persona intact.
In his return episode, they try to rehabilitate him. He has to consciously try to never use his clay powers, and I'm like, that's like asking someone not to like stretch in the morning or like not to breathe. Like, it's kind of fucked up.
But it's also frustrating because he's constantly flexing that muscle, keeping his Ethan identity present.
That's what I'm saying.
And visually there, you know?
That's gonna drive someone insane. It's like having like your muscle flexed 24 hours a day.
I really do like that episode too, though, because, you know, he's given a second chance to be Ethan Bennett, and Bruce, who's his long-term best friend ever since they were kids, is like, well, look, you need a job, like, no one's hiring you. Why don't you work for Wayne Industries as my security manager?
Yeah, which is like a crazy job to give him like right out of Arkham.
Yeah, dude, why can't you, you're fucking billionaire Bruce Wayne, dude, can't you give him a handout? Give him like a milli, dude, let him live his best life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like help him financially, but you don't have to be like, Ethan, why don't you be my head of security? Like, bro.
Yeah, super high stress, high stakes job.
You're asking for it.
I know. I do like that Batman is trying to help, not just as the crime fighter, but also as, you know, a down-to-earth good person trying to help people in a civilian life. Of course, Ethan Bennett ends up folding by the end of the episode, turns back to Clayface.
He does, but I like that it's not just annoying plot contrivances that make him turn into Clayface. I like that they offer Ethan like multiple choices in the episode, and he always chooses to use his powers and to transform into Clayface again, kind of cementing himself as Clayface and not who he used to be.
There's a great moment where he basically tells Bruce and Yin, who are, you know, his previous partner and best friend, like, this is the last time you're seeing Ethan Bennett. Like, I am Clayface permanently now. I also do want to talk about another episode that he appears in.
Yes.
Very subtly, but it is one of the best episodes of the season. It is the Solomon Grundy episode. In this episode, all of Gotham kind of have this, like, old wives' tale, like, ghost story about Solomon Grundy, you know what I mean, being resurrected by, like, two sister witches or whatever.
Yeah, on Halloween night.
On Halloween night, and it's just like a classic ghost story that you know, tells kids to scare them on Halloween, whatever.
Yeah.
But he ends up actually coming out of the ground and wreaking havoc, and it ends up being a great twist in the end where Batman, the whole episode, is like, oh, Alfred, like, I can't believe this, like, old wives' tale is real. What the hell, this ghost story, like, what's happening here? It's revealed that Ethan Bennett is using the disguise of Solomon Grundy to subtly steal things in the wake of all the damage he's causing.
Yeah. Do you like that twist?
I do like that twist. I think it's very original. It really catches you off guard in the moment because Solomon Grundy, of course, is a real, very popular character in the comics. And I think it's just another great way to showcase Ethan's descent into the madness of Clayface.
Another villain who obviously makes his return this season multiple times, maybe too many times, is Joker.
I think Joker appears like 4 or 5 times throughout the season.
Yeah, you do get a bit jokered out by the end of the season.
Definitely. There is one episode that I think we both praise as one of the absolute best from not just this season, but the series as a whole.
Yes, it's called The Laughing Bat. Basically, Joker becomes Batman this episode. Kind of like out of nowhere.
It's so funny.
It's hysterical.
It's just seeing Joker in like a stupid, like ill-fitting Batman suit.
Yeah,
it's
like
so good.
with like floppy ears.
I know, it is big stupid grin.
He becomes a vigilante, but he only punishes people who commit like mundane, like can barely even qualify as crimes. Like he gasses people who like litter.
Yeah, at the beginning of the episode, you see this guy running in an alleyway and someone's stalking him, and you're like, oh, it's Batman just taking down a criminal. And the guy starts yelling like, I'm sorry, I only jaywalked this one time. And Joker's like, that's one too many, and just swoops down.
And he fucking laughing gasses them, and these people are like, obviously they get saved and they go to the hospital, but if this was the comics, like, he's killing these people.
And there's a great other side of this episode where he's like, well, I'm Batman, I need my arch nemesis Joker.
Yeah.
And so he kind of like does the Arkham plot line where he like gasses Batman with this Joker serum that makes him start laughing and like slowly turn into Joker.
I really like the episode because it's not like a typical Joker episode of the show where it's just like a Saturday morning cartoon plot. He's very clearly clinically insane in this episode.
Yeah. And that's a great episode, just a race against time for Batman to, you know, find the cure, find the serum, and keep being Batman, basically.
Yep.
One thing that season 2 does a lot is villain team-up stories. You know, you got episodes that kind of make sense, like Firefly and Freeze teaming up.
Yeah, Fire and Ice.
Yeah. And there is one really funny episode where Catwoman and Penguin, you know, team up to steal the Jade Penguin and Jade Cat statue, whatever.
Fucking classic museum bullshit.
I know. But there is a really fun point in the episode where, of course, Catwoman and Penguin are both villains. They're going to screw each other over.
Yeah.
And at one point, Penguin ties Batman and Catwoman together.
With like these like unbreakable handcuffs.
Yeah, so you get just like fun interactions with them having to, you know, fight together. And there's one part in particular where Catwoman has to drive the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Batman's on the wrong side. It's just like little fun moments like that.
The show does a great job of having really fun, unique ideas that we've never seen before in superhero cartoons.
Definitely. And you also have like team-ups like Penguin and Man-Bat too, you know, where Penguin is able to control the Man-Bat persona and transformation.
Really fucked up.
It really messed up.
Yeah. Not to be outdone by all the classic returning villains, this season also introduces some really cool, unique new villains, not just like big heavy hitters like Killer Croc and Hugo Strange for the first time. We also get Spellbinder, who's a really cool character that I always love to see.
You also have characters like you said, Ragdoll, who
Is, I'm gonna say, like, fucking horrifying.
he's really creepy.
Yeah.
The animators just go to work with him, dude.
Yeah, he can contort himself in like any way. He can like move through fucking like little 2 feet spaces and stuff. And ultimately the season culminates in a big kind of bombastic finale in which Joker, Penguin, and Riddler
Fight for control over Gotham.
Yes, exactly.
Arguably, these are the 3 pillars of Batman's rogues gallery.
Yeah.
So seeing them go against each other is pretty fun.
Yeah, I always like to see the gentleman villains kind of butt heads or team up, you know? And they kind of do a little bit of both in this episode.
Yeah, but there is one glaring problem, which I think is our biggest issue with the show.
Yeah.
And particularly this season overall.
Yeah, it's how they handle the completely unjustified outing of Ellen Yin from the show and the completely flaccid introduction of Jim Gordon.
Jim Gordon just comes out of nowhere. Batman and Gotham are now officially on the same side.
It's not earned. He just shows up, and him showing up completely out of nowhere makes you be like, where the fuck were you for the past 25 episodes?
Yeah.
Bro? Why is like Chief Rojas acting for 2 seasons like he's the big capo and he's in charge of all the cops, and then you come in the finale and like completely pants him and he's like a bitch now?
Yeah, and it's really weird because Batman saves the day in the end, and Jim Gordon basically goes like, oh, like, Batman, we can finally start like working together and further our partnership.
Yeah, he says it's time to take our alliance to the next level. I'm like, bro, we're not even on level, we're on level 0.
Yeah, and you know, all of that would have been well and good if they didn't completely forget about Ellen Yin, but this ends up actually being her last appearance in the show.
Yeah.
And it just feels like a massive blue ball moment where you've been following Batman and Ellen Yin's relationship and partnership for the last 26 episodes now, it's all for nothing in the end. She disappears.
She completely disappears, and it's so disrespectful to the character and the viewers, and like her actor as well, who does an incredible job.
Yeah, I wanted to see freaking Batman and Ellen Yin get down and dirty, dude. I wanted to see them freaking get together, man.
Me too.
We're shipping this freaking couple the whole series. They're working together. They're kicking ass around Gotham.
Yeah, and who are we supposed to ship now? Batman and Jim?
Jim comes in and he's like, "Oh, let's take our relationship to the next level, Batman."
And Batman's like, "Yeah, dude, I really prefer my other partner."
A lot of our points with that actually go into season 3. Stay tuned for that retrospective. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe and share with a friend if you guys want to see season 3 retrospective review of the Batman.
Yes, let us know how...
Yes.
Yes. Yes, let us know your thoughts on the season, and we'll catch you next time. We love you.
We love you dearly.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.